Last year, St. Andrew funded the purchase of 65 backpacks and school supplies for the Migrant Farmworker project. We have supported this project for over 10 years. What is the Migrant Farmworker project? Migrant farmworkers are seasonal workers who harvest crops, in our case, apples grown in Missouri. We can get almost any fruit and vegetables that we wish at the grocery stores, often in any season. Most of the time, it was picked or harvested manually. In the case of apples, many are grown and harvested in Lafayette County, Missouri, and seasonal workers do the harvesting. The Migrant Farmworker project is more than just backpacks.
I was coming and going and coming and going. I came here, but before I went to Carolina, to Florida, to California. We came from the other places, and here's where we work, picking fruit.
Sometimes this 3 months is the longest they are anywhere during the year.
Let's go here and call here if they're hiring. If they're hiring, we can all go as a family. Like, we all stay together.
In Mexico, you do many jobs. Mason, field hand. The jobs were harder, and they paid less.
Mi sobrina iba a nacer.
I came because my niece was going to be born. My brother was here. He was working on the roads and trimming trees.
Y cortando árboles. Sí,
I was 13 and I was here with my mom.
con mi mamá.
My sister and my brother-in-law, like, they were good and they were stabilized and everything. It was hard for my mom to have us but not her.
I was almost 8 months pregnant and I was scared because I have just moved and about to deliver my baby. It's difficult when you come over, when you don't know people and when you don't have anything, because I have gone through a time when I didn't have anything.
Most of them don't know English, so that is a big, barrier for them to be able to communicate with people because they don't know the language. They stay in small groups. Nobody knows they're there, except the growers, the people that hire them.
I believe most providers they're ignorant to how it really is for the migrant farm workers. But once you learn about what they're going through, you tend to make adjustments.
We have a worker or worker and family in the fall for the apple and peach season. Usually at that point they go either to Florida or Texas to get themselves established where they're going to be for citrus. They may go back to Mexico in the very cold weather or around Christmas. Especially if they have kids in school, they probably won't stay for very long in Mexico, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then come back, and then start a northward progression, usually to Georgia to do onions. Some of them will split into different locations, and those folks, those workers and families, will probably be in 3 to 4 different locations in the United States. It's a circuit of several different locations, and so it's not that they know exactly where they're going to go.
Well, I think family means everything. And even through difficult times, we stay close. That's just who we are. We're like a close family, and it's hard for us to be away.
We do a lot of different jobs, mainly rural work. In the fields, all the time I was in the fields. From working in Florida, I came here, Someone invited me. In Florida, all those sacks were full, heavy, and I was all scratched up. The trees had thorns, so I came here. Trees here don't have thorns, so I can pick more and get hurt less scratches, and make more money. I liked it, and I continued year after year, and I met the other workers and my bosses, and I stayed, and here I am.
Me fui quedando y hasta aquí estoy ahorita.
Me and my two sisters, we work in the line. We work Monday through Friday is from 6 in the morning to 5:30. And on Saturdays is from 6 in the morning to like 3 in the afternoon. My two brother-in-laws, they drive a tractor at the field. And my husband, he's in the field walking.
I have been driving a truck for 10 years.
Ahorita tengo, como le estaba diciendo,
To drive, it means to carry boxes full of fruit, take out empty boxes to workers as needed, and bring them in for packaging, food. But before I started driving the truck, I used to work at the orchard to maintain the orchard, pruning whatever they needed. I would help them to pick peach, and then after the peaches there were apples, whatever required picking, and then the harvest. And then there was driving the tractor, and then the truck, and when I finished with the truck, it was all over, and we would start again.
Otra vez a lo que.
Their family for generations have been farm workers. Most of them in Mexico, that's what their great-great-grandparents did. They've all done outside farm work. I mean, they're working when it's really hot. They're working in October when it's starting to get cool, down to 40 degrees in the daytime. Heat is definitely a factor. They're looking up into trees, into the sky, into the sun, wearing a long sleeve shirt because they're right up in the middle of them. Building trust with migratory people and people who are in very rural settings is important because often they don't know where they are and they don't know how they're going to get somewhere. They don't know who's going to help them. So you want them to trust you. But you have to get it going pretty fast. We try to be there on the day that we know the crew's coming.
Hosting some sort of gathering space for people to come and learn about the resources that are available to them. Inherently, there's a power dynamic between us as social service providers and people who are here in need of services, and so I think anything that we can do to kind of level the playing field a little bit more helps us build connections and helps them feel a lot of trust for us. In the work that we do, we'll sometimes bring providers from some of the local clinics with us when we go out to the labor camps and meet people, and I think that helps with kind of initiating that process of building trust and building the awareness of how one can access healthcare.
So if you're there with food and with things to welcome them, I mean, they're usually very happy to see people.
You see that like starts to become a bond, and then like seeing you guys year after year, it's like not like just a person you normally see. It's more like, oh look, that's Susan, or oh look, that's Kaylee. And
I think as soon as you open that window, you interact with them. Even that hola, you know, they're like, well, she speaks my language. She's someone I can talk to. She's someone I can communicate with. It's always, I think, that reassurance to them to know that they have someone that they can speak to. Live well, buenas tardes. Interpreting a clinic environment, it definitely goes both ways. They have questions for the provider has questions for them, and so, you know, just getting that information across to both parties is definitely very important.
Having Yesenia there, the patient then becomes much more accepting. And that's why Yesenia is so crucial, because she's part of their population, they trust her. It goes a long way. So, and it builds that trust. It's the link that's so important for me to the patient.
Sometimes they come to us, but a lot of times we go to the package sheds. We'll ask to see if anybody needs daycare for their children. We try to provide not just the basic needs, but also we try to help the families to better themselves, to do stuff, that's going to help them get a better life.
I don't see that in other places, and I do think it's like really, really helpful.
Well, for pickers, I think the biggest danger is falling. If the basket's half full or more, they could have 60 to 80 pounds, and they're up and down, up and down, up and down. I think for the packing shed, you're standing in the same position for a very long time, and you're doing the same repetitive motions with your hands, with your wrists, with your elbow. Pretty common issue that we run into is an eye issue called pterygium. Your muscle starts to harden, and so that requires eye surgery.
I myself am a Lion Club member. So I went through the Lions Club and asked for them for a donation for this gentleman, and they picked up the bill for him to go in and have his eyes corrected.
Either weekends or extended hours are crucial to the population, because getting off of work isn't like what most of us are accustomed to. And then when they get in, I can't do the typical dental appointment, which we call a limit exam or emergency exam, where I'll go in, I'll tell them what's wrong, and then usually it's, we'll get you in next week. Getting off of work is very difficult for them. They're not allowed to leave, and sometimes the hours that they work, they can't give them up. So having that time when it's after work, which would basically be that 6 to 6:30 range, it's really important to them. And especially with the migrant population, once I learned what they go through, your ability to become empathetic and get more compassionate to their cause, and then you find yourself really wanting to help even more. So I always try to look at it through that lens, like, what if I were this person? And knowing what I know now, it really changes your decisions, and I know they appreciate it.
If I go to the doctor, I have to tell the boss. I have to tell the person in charge a day ahead and the time.
It's a bit difficult because production is every day the same. So the only thing I ask them is to make the appointment late so they can be with me at work and then go see the doctor.
Everything about their lives is uncertain. So healthcare is a huge one. If you have a physical health issue, a chronic disease, if you're doing something that needs any sort of consistency or repeat visits, we see people with chronic diseases that arrive who have been 3 to 4 to 5 months without the medication for it. They know what they have, they know what they need, but they haven't been any place where they could access it. And so those things that need consistent follow-up are really, really hard for people that are constantly on the move.
Here, the people helped me because you helped me, and they treated me well, to look for a doctor and to go to many appointments. They scheduled the appointments with a doctor that does not charge a lot of appointments, for the dentist, the eye doctor, and the family clinic. For me, it is a good help what your program has given us. Medical care for your health has helped us a lot, and of course, childcare. I think it is a good and safe place. Your project had helped me with the school. Your staff helped me to enroll my kids, also to translate, because I don't know English. I think that the most important thing for people who move and have kids is childcare, because in order to be able to work, you need care for your kids. It's difficult when you come over, when you don't know people, and when you don't have anything. We came over here because my husband knows people, and he knows your program. And we know people that will help us if we need it. We know that this program will help us.
O sea, me siento bien, pero pues me siento tan a gusto bien y vengo también aquí porque
I feel good. I feel happy because of your support. Because when I come here, I go see you and I am thankful. I rely on your help. I trust you and I know I have your help.
Now that you know a little bit more about the Migrant Farm Workers Project, please support it. Please consider purchasing one or more backpacks. As always, thank you for your support.